some issues, some people say are extremely authentic, of the highest caliber, like the Mu'jiza of Radd al-Shams. Jalaluddin Suyuti rahimahullah has written a whole book and proved this issue is mutawatir. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah had his own opinion. He didn't agree, he contradicted with the issue, and he said it's all bogus, it's all fabricated. Ordinary people haven't been given the authority by the Quran. The Quran says, if you don't know, فَاسْأَلُوا عَلَى الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. If you don't know, you don't go and do your research and decide for yourself. Ask the people of dhikr, ask the people of knowledge. The Prophet has mentioned, if a fly falls in your food, you dip it, then take it out and throw it away. But the Prophet mentioned a fly. Now in some places, especially in India, Pakistan, and there's not just flies which fall in people's food, all sorts of things fall in people's foods. Among them mosquitoes. Mosquitoes is a common thing which falls in people's food in many parts of the world. So now what do? To ask the people of knowledge. And this issue implies and is applicable to all walks of life. If you got a problem with the law, do you study books of law? No. What do? Go to a solicitor. And some people, they say, well, the Imams say this and the Quran says this. And they present an ayat of the Quran, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ قَالُوا بَلْ نَتَّبِعُ مَا وَجَدْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا. When they are told to follow what Allah has revealed, they say, we will follow what our ancestors have done. This is not what this ayat of the Quran means. This ayat of the Quran is referring to kafirs. When they were told to believe, they would say, we will not believe. So is Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah na'uzubillah telling you to become a kafir? Someone brings you a call of Imam, the Imam says this, and look, Sahih Hadith says this. So who are you going to follow? What do you say? Brother, although you bringing me this Sahih Hadith, and that appears to contradict what the Imam has said, but brother, I don't know what the Imam might has said, that must have also been based on Sahih Hadith as well. Some people say, but we have to follow the Haqq. But Haqq is not this is not Haqq whether you place your hands here or here, whether you say Ameen loudly or lowly. Haqq and Batil is Islam and Kufr, Tawheed and Shirk. My dear brothers and respected elders, with Allah's mercy, we have a wonderful and a complete deen. A deen which Allah Himself has perfected and chosen for this ummah. This ayat is so virtuous and so wonderful. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. That today I have perfected your deen and completed my favors upon you and chosen Islam to be your deen. Once a Jew came to Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu and said, if this ayat had been revealed upon us, then we would have made the day of its revelation a day of celebration. This is such a wonderful verse of the Quran, and this is such good news for this ummah, and this is such assurance for this ummah that we have a perfect and a wonderful deen which contains all of Allah's favors and all of Allah's blessing. There's nothing good which Allah has left out, and nothing harmful which we haven't been warned about and told to refrain and stay away from. And obviously, we as Muslims, we've been given guidance covering all aspects of life. But when we look at our deen, there are many differences amongst scholars in the ummah about certain different issues. There is no real difference in ummah, at least in Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, because the Prophet ﷺ prophesied that and said that Bani Israel were divided into 73 sects, and this ummah will become divided into 73. 72 will go into Jahannam, and Sahaba inquired, Ya Rasulullah, which will be the saved sect? And the Prophet ﷺ said, Ma ana alayhi wa ashabi, people who follow my path and the path of my companions. Hence we are known as Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Ma ana alayhi, what I am upon, meaning the path of Sunnah, and wa ashabi, and the companions, the Prophet ﷺ's companions, his ashab, are the Jama'ah, the group which the Prophet himself taught and trained and prepared, about whom Allah said, radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu, they are happy with Allah, Allah is happy with them. So we are Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, people who follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. So this is the saved sect, people who will follow the path of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and people who will follow the path which was understood by the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the path which was followed by them. And some people, they try to distinguish and cause separation between the Prophet and his companions, but the Prophet kept the companions with him. And some people say, well, the Prophet did this and the Sahaba did this, we have to follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If that is the case, if the path of the Prophet and the companions are two different paths, that means, you know, that means that the Sahaba, they left the path of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, na'udhu billah min dhalik, or they followed a different path. No, what it means is from the path, from what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, different people will try and make different interpretations and follow, and not follow simply, but assign and set and form different interpretations, different divisions of the paths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the Prophet said, that path which is followed by my companions, that is really my path, in other words. So the Prophet said, ma ana alayhi wa ashabi, those who follow my path and the path of my companions. In another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam specially has said, alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnati al-khulafa'i ar-rashidin al-mahdiyyin. And the Prophet began the hadith with, فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ يَعْشِ مِنْكُمْ بَعْدِي فَسَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. The Prophet said, أُوصِيكُمْ بِتَقْوَى اللَّهِ وَالسَّمْعِ وَالطَّاعَةِ. I command you to listen and to obey. To obey, not to cause division, but to listen and to obey. أُوصِيكُمْ بِتَقْوَى اللَّهِ وَالسَّمْعِ وَالطَّاعَةِ. Even if a person who's a black Abyssinian appointed as a leader over you, even then obey. Because those who live after me, فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ يَعْشِ مِنْكُمْ بَعْدِي, those who live after me, فَسَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا, they will witness great dispute, controversy, division in the ummah. فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ يَعْشِ مِنْكُمْ بَعْدِي فَسَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِسُنَّتِي وَسُنَّةِ الْخُلَفَاءِ الرَّاشِدِينَ الْمَهْدِيِّينَ. So you must follow my sunnah and the sunnah of the khulafa. تَمَسَّكُوا بِهَا, stick by it. وَعَضُّوا عَلَيْهَا بِالنَّوَاجِزِ. Nawajiz are these canine pointed teeth. Stick by them, you know, hold on very tightly, don't let go. When you grip something, you know, with your teeth, you hold on to it strongly, don't let go. So when we see in our deen, there are certain basic principles. There is no real difference in Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, at least. We believe in Allah, His Tawheed, the finality of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's nubuwwat. We believe in the Quran to be the infallible word of Allah. There are other groups amongst Muslims who don't regard the Quran, this Quran, to be totally saved. They believe the real Quran was 17,000 verses. And the real Quran is with the Imam, 12th Imam, in the cave of Surre Manra. And the Imam who's vanished, when he will come, he will bring the real Quran. Asli Quran 40 pare tha, और बकरी खा गई, और क्या क्या हुआ. तो वो कुरान था जो बकरी खा गई, या पट्टे संजरे खा गई बकरी. What was that grass that the goat ate up? This is Allah's Quran you're talking about, for God's sake. Allah has promised, Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. I have revealed this and we are responsible for its safekeeping. Every word in the Quran is infallible, is free from any discrepancy, free from any alteration, free from any misinterpretation. The whole Quran is Allah's word, divine word, and this is as the Quran was. بَلْ هُوَ قُرْآنٌ مَجِيدٌ فِي لَوْحٍ مَحْفُوظٍ, in the sacred preserved tablet. We believe in the infallibility of the Quran. We believe in the ismat, infallibility of the prophets.